What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that may just push you, may just catapult you into your desired timeline, okay? This is the talk of lifeline spirals, okay? We're going to be going into a bit of depth here about how they work, the mechanics and systems behind them, and how you can use those laws to affect your life. So let's get started. All right, first thing we need to understand about lifeline spirals is that whether you're ascending, like we see here, where you start here and you just continually build more momentum and get higher and higher and continue to improve and become better in every asset, the same thing happens with the downward spiral, okay? One aspect goes astray and the rest starts culminating down with it and pulling you down to the lowest timeline. All right, versus this will pull you up to your highest potential. So, first thing to understand is positive reinforcement, okay? So, this is counting the wins, better known as. All right, so when you have something good happen, you get a win, you tell yourself you're going to do a process and you stick to that process. You are positively reinforcing the idea that you are this person up here, which is the highest that you can be, okay? So you're telling yourself when you achieve the things that you say that you're going to achieve and you stack the wins, the small wins, that you are day by day stepping closer and closer to your highest self, the person that you envision yourself being right now. Okay? So we do this by stacking wins, as I said. All right, so an example of this would be you make your bed in the morning. You do cold plunge in the shower. You make sure to train that day. You make sure to plan out your work day, and you make sure to complete your work day. All right? And you meditate. Okay, so that's 5 wins, 6 wins. All right, so let's say you're rolling into the next day, or the next week, or the next month, and you're rolling in off of the win of those 5 wins. So it's only in your nature, it's only natural that you expect and assume that next time you're going to get a win, and next time you're going to get a win, and next time you're going to get a win. And this is how you stack the wins, okay? So by the time you get to week 3, let's say, the habits that you had to very hard focus on to be able to either break or build are now an effortless aspect of yourself. Okay, so these wins, these day 1 wins, are already integrated into your character. Okay, when you decide to stop wasting your sexual energy on either hookups or online or whatever it is, however you're infiltrated through your lust, when you decide to stop that, the first day it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a big win. Okay? And it's also going to be a big loss the more weight you put on it, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about next, all right? But first, I want to talk to you about the inverse side of this, okay? So this is positive, all right? Now, we have negative degeneration. This is the term that I've coined for this specific scenario, okay? So when you have negative degeneration, usually it happens when you are already rising, okay? You're already doing well, all right? The wins are starting to stack, okay? Your excess potential is starting to unfold, okay? The effort that you put in with no results will start to actually reap results. And then at some point, you'll be tested. Okay? Tested heavily. God will say, do you really want to get to this point up here? Do you really want that? Is that really what you want? So he's going to test you. All right? And I personally have failed this test dozens and dozens of times, okay? When it gets to the point where all of the work that you put in behind the scenes is going to be unveiled, you will have a trial, you will have a tribulation, something that you must conquer in order to rise above that level. This can be an assortment of different things. It can be something within yourself. An addiction that you've been struggling to pass comes back in full force. All right? Or a situation that you've been thinking about unfolds and you have to deal with that now. Or any one situation that you can think of, if it is causing you stress, causing you fear, causing you these emotions, most likely it is a blockade, all right? It is an obstacle. So you must move through that and continue to stack, all right? Or else what will happen is this negative degeneration, okay? So this means you have one loss, okay? You mess up your morning routine, let's say. You have another loss. You planned out your day and didn't get everything done that you wanted to. You have another loss. Let's say you relapse in one of the aspects that you're trying to grow away from. All right, and you go back to that, okay? And then you have another one. All right, let's say you continue to reinforce that. So now you're rolling into this next day, week, month, etc. on a losing streak. So your brain's going to assume you're going to continue losing. Okay? Your mental attitude has flipped. Even if these are the same exact realities. All right? This is the same exact timeline playing out. The same exact things are happening. But you are perceiving your wins. You're counting your wins. It's going to be much easier to get wins. On this timeline, which is the exact same things unfolding, exact same physical reality here on this plane. But you're counting the losses. The next time that we measure this person that count the wins is going to be in a higher level. They're going to be in a higher state of consciousness. Okay? So, in turn, their reality is going to reflect that. So they're going to be able to stack the wins. They're going to be able to do the actions that are required to start spiraling upwards, okay? Whereas this person is going to do the actions that cause them to go downwards, because that is what their mental conditioning has made them believe, is that they're in a losing streak, okay? So, understand these attributes. Understand positive reinforcement and negative degeneration, and use the positive reinforcement to excel yourself onto that next level. The wins are only your perception. Nothing is ever good, nothing is ever bad, nothing is ever a win, nothing is ever a loss. It is only what your perception of the matter is. So if you take what would conventionally be known as a loss, or what would conventionally be known as an obstacle, and you look at it as a lesson, say this is your path, right? You have this obstacle here. Instead of looking at it as an obstacle, you look at it as kind of like in video games in GTA when you're driving through the race course and you have to hit the circles. If you go off track and don't hit the circle, you got to go back and re-go through the circle. You look at it as that. This is something you need to get through to be able to continue on this path. Okay, so now it no longer becomes an obstacle, it becomes a door. It becomes an opportunity for you to grow. Do you understand? So you can take something that would have been conventionally a very bad situation, put you down on your luck, and brought your energy down. And you can look at that so-called obstacle and understand that is actually a doorway. That is actually God putting something in your life where your conscious has not recognized that this is a problem within you, not externally. This is a problem within you. that you have created in your reality. So when you're able to solve that problem and move through that obstacle, then you're actually able to excel, sorry. But when you try to go around it, or you try to backtrack, or you try to push it out of the way and give it all this force, you're not able to get through and actually continue on, because it becomes an obstacle when you look at it as an obstacle. So this is going to be how you can spiral your lifeline in a positive direction. This will also show you, if you're not careful, how you can spiral your lifeline in a negative direction. So use this carefully. Pay attention, okay? Stack the wins. Stack your wins, all right? Count your wins, all right? And your losses are lessons. So you take the loss and you learn from it. You take the loss and you learn from it. You take the loss and you learn from it. Every time you learn from one of these losses, that is also a win, because you are winning the game when something bad happens and you act as you're supposed to, as God intended for you to. You get the lesson, you learn the lesson that God has set for you. So every single one of these losses is no longer a loss, okay? It is a catapult to your next objective, okay? When you're playing a video game and you get better and the levels go higher, the bosses get harder, okay? You need to increase your armor in any sort of video game. You need to increase your strength, your damage potential, in order to be able to defeat those next bosses, okay? So if you look at the boss like an obstacle, and you don't look at how to overcome that obstacle, how this boss is actually going to give you the XP that you need to defeat the next boss, which is going to get you the king fucking sword, whatever. When you look at it as an obstacle, it becomes an obstacle. When you look at it as the path, all right, and the thing that you need to get through, and the thing that you need to conquer in order to get to the next level, it becomes just that. Reality is what you make it. The game of reality is the rules you set for it. Remember that, okay? So follow this advice here, follow this, and you will see yourself start to upward spiral. Remember, count the wins, learn from the losses, and continually look upwards. Don't ever look down, all right? You all got this. I believe in you with my whole heart. See you in the next one.